Suffolk County Communications.
Hi, I need an ambulance sent to the abortion clinic on Mission Avenue in Bellevue.
Okay, do you have the address to that?
It's 1002 West Mission Avenue.
Bellevue Health Clinic?
Correct.
Okay, and what,
Tell them no lights.
what's the phone number that you're calling from, ma'am?
402-292-4164.
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
I was told to call an ambulance.
Okay, so you don't know what's going on?
No.
Who told you to call the ambulance, ma'am?
The nurse.
Okay. Okay, ma'am, are you able to obtain any information?
I'm in the front office.
Okay. Okay, ma'am, is there somewhere, some way that you can take me to where the person that needs the rescue is?
Take you there? Like with
right. Are you, yes, can you go to the phone to go to the person that...
I'll call you back then.
Okay, is there anybody in the office that can call us on their cell phone on 911?
I'll call you from my cell phone.
Okay, that would be fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Suffolk County 911.
Hi, I just called from the Bellevue Health Clinic on this.
Yes. Okay, now, are you, tell me exactly what happened?
What's going on, Lindsay? They want to know. 911 wants to know. Okay, now put down the other one. They want to know what's going on. I need an ambulance.
Right, ma'am. I need to know exactly what's going on so they know how they need to take care of this person. What is going on? Tell me exactly what happened.
They want to know what's going on.
Can I speak with the person that's with the patient? Are you with the patient now?
I'm in the room, yes.
How old is she?
How old is she?
Okay. Is she awake?
Is she awake? Yes.
Is she breathing?
Yes.
Stay on the line. Someone else is dispatching the rescue squad, and I'm going to gather more information for the paramedics.
Open the door.
Okay, where, ma'am? Okay, are you a doctor, ma'am?
I'm a nurse.
Okay, is she completely alert?
She's sedated, but she's alert and she's able to talk to us.
Okay, is she breathing normally?
Yeah, she's breathing on room air. She's at 95%.
Okay.
Her vitals are stable. She's just, yeah.
Okay. Okay, help is on the way. Stay on the line. I'll tell you exactly what to do next.
Okay.
Now, just reassure her the help is on the way. Don't let her have anything to eat or drink. It might make her sick or cause problems for the doctor. Just have her rest in the most comfortable position and wait for help to arrive. Now, obviously, if she becomes less awake, watch her very closely. If she becomes less awake and vomits, just quickly turn her on her side. And if she gets worse in any way, just let me know, and I can give you further instructions.
Second floor.
Is there any place that they should come in at, ma'am? Like front or back entrance?
Front door is just fine. Melissa's up there waiting for her.
Okay, if they can have folks, if they can have somebody meet the rescue squad and they can direct them to her, that would be helpful.
Yep, she will be there.
Is there a doctor at that facility?
Yes.
Okay, so she is okay with you guys. You guys know how to do CPR and everything with her.
Yeah, we were just.
Okay.
But then we finally.
All right. Well, as there's a medical professional with you, I'll let you go then.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
Hello, I'm Janet Marana, Executive Director of Priests for Life. I hope that little clip I just showed you was an eye-opener for you, but sadly, this happens in abortion clinics all over our country. And these abortion clinics are not, like the other side says, providing women's health. They're destroying women's health. We're going to dive into this topic today with my wonderful guest, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about her background. Her name is Cheryl Sullenger. She's been actively involved in the pro-life movement since 1984. She currently serves as Senior Vice President of Operation Rescue. Sullenger's extensive research on abortion abuses has been used to bring national attention to the dangers of abortion. Her work has been used to support pro-life legislation, close abortion clinics, launch investigations, and bring disciplinary action against abortionists nationwide. In 2013, Cheryl attended the Kermel Gosnell murder trial in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and was the first to report on it nationally on a daily basis. Sullenger is primary author of 3 books, Their Blood Cries Out, Abortion Free, and The Trial of Kermit Gosnell. And she currently blogs at operationrescue.org. Cheryl, welcome to our program.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah. Well, first, I just want our viewers to know that Operation Rescue back in the day, in like the 80s and early 90s, they might remember the rescue movement. And the rescue movement was where they were blocking abortion clinics and they were trying to save babies and all that. And it was founded by Randall Terry. But then after he left Operation Rescue, Troy Newman, as we know, took it over. And you and Troy work very closely together, don't you?
Yes, that's correct.
That's correct. Well, Cheryl, I don't think anybody has researched the abuse inside abortion clinics more than you personally. Can you just tell our viewers, how do you go about gathering your research?
Well, we get information in a variety of different ways. Of course, we do internet searches, but a lot of times what will happen is activists on the street will call us and they'll draw our attention to some aspect of what's going on, and we'll be able to do further research. 911 records are one particular thing that we do quite frequently. People will call us, say, we saw an ambulance at our abortion clinic. We'll get the 911 records and find out exactly what happened. We also make FOIA requests, freedom of access to information, freedom of information requests. We make a lot of those for documents, inspection documents, court records, things like that. And so that's how we get.
Now, the clip we just showed, by the way, there's more of those clips. If our viewers want to see more evidence, you could just go to operationrescue.org, right, Cheryl? And you've got a whole gallery there of these 911 calls, don't you?
Yes, that's correct. We have hundreds and hundreds of them.
Hundreds and hundreds. But let's just talk about this particular call for a moment. This happened in Lee Carhart's late-term abortion clinic in Nebraska, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And of course, he's been doing late-term abortion. He's like one of the architect, actually, of, the late-term abortion, isn't he? He's like a champion for it, isn't he? The procedure.
He's been doing it for a really, really long time. He used to work in Wichita, Kansas, at the largest, at that time, abortion facility, late-term abortion facility in the country. In fact, they boasted of it being the largest late-term abortion facility outside of communist China. So he had a lot of experience when he worked for years here in Wichita, and he took that experience, of course, up to his home clinic in Nebraska. And now he has a second clinic where he does the full-term abortions once again in Maryland.
Yeah, and I want to remind our people that, yes, abortion is legal through all 9 months of pregnancy, and late-time abortion is happening, right, Cheryl, every day in our country, isn't it? Babies that are in the 7th, 8th, and 9th month of gestation, correct?
That is correct. In fact, we have about 135 facilities in this country right now that do abortions at 20 weeks or later. That's 5 months of pregnancy or later. And there are 8 that openly do abortions in the 9th month of pregnancy.
Wow. So let's just talk about this 911 call. Tell us, like, first of all, from your investigation of this incident, what happened to this young lady exactly? Because, I mean, first of all, the song and dance at the abortion clinic to me was giving the 911 operator. If this was truly a crisis, I just noticed how they were neglecting giving the information to the 911 operator. And I mean, I know people who are EMS people. It's very important to give that vital information to the 911 operator, because she's giving that out to the ambulance that's en route in real time, so that when they arrive on scene, they don't first walk in like not knowing anything. They've got some vital information. They know what crisis this patient is in. So what would you guess was the time elapse from this woman being in crisis till they got there, and the ring around, the rosy, so to speak, that they were giving this 911 operator?
Well, the 911 call took over 5 minutes, and in the process of the call, the dispatcher actually sent the ambulance. So the ambulance was on the way while they were still talking.
Right.
But I would estimate, because of the lack of information that these people were willing to give or had in the first place, it took probably about 10 minutes for her to get help. And when you're in the middle of a medical emergency, and this woman was obviously in distress, you could hear her faint moaning and, in the background, and you could tell that she was suffering. Unfortunately, we don't know exactly what happened to her or what the outcome of that incident is, because of HIPAA laws and because of redactions inside the 911 records. So, like, what exactly her problem was, I would suspect, based on her pain level and everything, that it was some sort of injury that she received during the abortion. One common one that we see in these kinds of circumstances is a perforated uterus.
Right, I know.
Go right through into the body, and it causes a lot of pain and often a lot of bleeding.
Yeah, I've actually been one time in an ER where a girl was in the next cubicle over. I was with my mom in the emergency room, and the next cubicle over was a girl who was transported also for an abortion mill, and she had they were suspecting a perforated bowel, and they were taking her up right away for tests and possibly into the OR. And she had to sign permission right then that they might have to, do a what is that, a colostomy, where they take out part of your intestines and everything. I mean, oh my gosh. So now, abortion clinics, like, what would you say from your experience on the average in the course of a month nationwide? How many times would you say ambulances are called to abortion clinics?
Well, that's an interesting question. There's actually no way to know that. The incidents that we report on and that we document are just from observation. It means there's a pro-life person on the street. They're watching this happen. They call us or they email us after the fact. But if there's no person on the street to report to us, we don't know about it. And we had statistics, 2 or 3 years back, where there were some court records. We got it from court records that they estimated that they hospitalized in the state of Texas about 1,000 women a year at that particular time. That was 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, so 1,000 women a year in Texas from botched abortions, basically had to be taken and getting other medical care. So this is not a safe, legal, benign little procedure. It has huge, huge problems, doesn't it?
Yes, it has a lot of problems. And I think women are injured and hospitalized on a larger scale than anyone really knows. Now, some states have reporting laws, so some incidents have to be reported, but other states have none. And so in general, we don't really know how many women are injured by abortion in a year. We don't know how many women are hospitalized. We don't know how many women have to submit to emergency surgery. We don't know how many women die. And that is the sad state of affairs here. We know that abortion clinics sometimes will voluntarily report to the CDC, but their numbers are way low because we know that most of the abortionists don't want people to know that someone may have been seriously injured or has died as a result of an abortion at their facility. So they don't really call up and tell people about it. They try to keep it as quiet as possible.
Yeah, and you just alluded to the fact about reporting to the CDC. Isn't it states like California, who performs the most abortion nationwide, doesn't have to report to the CDC, right?
That's correct. They do not report to the CDC. So in reality, we don't actually even know how many babies are aborted in this country because California and a couple other states do not report. Now, we can look at the states that do report and we can see a trend, whether it's going up or it's going down. And thankfully, over the last several years, the numbers of abortions have been going down, as well as the number of abortion facilities. I think those two things are actually connected to each other. Because as abortion facilities have dropped in number, abortions have dropped in number. And I don't know if the chicken came before the egg or which way, but it's definitely a cause and effect situation.
Right. Okay. And now you just did a fabulous report. I got to look through it, which is the basically the face of abortion for 2020, where you looked at the whole year compared with a few years back, and you looked at certain trends. And we have a slide up right now. Can you see that slide? This is part of your report, Cheryl. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
Oh, good. So explain this to our people.
So every year we survey every abortion clinic in the country, and we find out a number of things about them. But this particular map shows the number of active abortion facilities in each state, and it also shows how many facilities they increased or how many they decreased. The red states are states where they had an increase in the number of abortion facilities. The blue states show a decrease in the number of abortion facilities. In other words, abortion clinics closed in those states. And then there's no net change in all of the states that are gray. So right now we're seeing, we saw this last year in 2020, that there were actually fewer abortion facilities in America. We're down to 706. In 1991, there were 2,176 abortion facilities. Now we're down to 706. And that number is generally, the trend is down on the number of abortion facilities in our country.
Right. And so, well, first of all, when you look at that map, of course, abortion facilities are up in California there. Are there any states at this juncture that we can call abortion free, meaning they have zero abortion clinics? None?
Well, yes and no. Okay. That's an interesting question. And this is the way that we put it. We count clinics. If they are doing abortions, we count them as an abortion clinic. If they have halted abortions, then they may still be open. So there still may be a clinic there. But if they're not doing abortions, we don't count them as an active abortion clinic. Okay, they become like a referral clinic or whatever. They do other services. And in Missouri, they have one abortion facility. They did at the beginning of the year, and they've had one for a number of years now, just one abortion facility. That facility went through a licensing scandal, actually. But unfortunately, when they got to the disciplinary phase, the administrative judge decided that it was okay for them to keep their license because their violations, which included hospitalization of 4 women with severely botched abortions. Women, nobody died, but they were very close to it. Some were in the ICU. They needed emergency surgery and all that stuff. So they just felt like that wasn't bad enough to take their license. So they still technically have an abortion license, but they built another facility across the river in Illinois where there are basically no rules that they have to follow. In Missouri, there are many very excellent and very strong pro-life laws that protect women and their unborn babies. And when they're not in compliance, then they get in trouble with the licensing board, and then they have to defend themselves. They have to talk. They have to submit to interviews. They don't want to do any of that. And so they have moved their abortion business completely across the river to Illinois. And when we called and we did our survey, they were not scheduling abortion appointments and had no appointments available for any time in the near future. And so we counted that clinic as halting abortions. Now, when the media saw our report, they called up Planned Parenthood and they said, oh, no, we're scheduling abortions. So I don't know if they actually did schedule any, but I just wanted to clarify that even if they did, that was done in January of 2021. Our survey was for the year 2020. And so whatever changes they made in January would be reflected in the next survey that we do. So
Right.
we were completely accurate. We get all of our information directly from the horse's mouth. Nobody else does this. The CDC doesn't do it. Alan Guttmacher doesn't do it. We have the most accurate information available as far as what abortion clinics are operating, what their services are, what their costs are, what their waiting times are. We ask all kinds of questions. So we get a lot of data straight from them.
Great. And then just quickly, how is the chemical abortion? I know we just had that great Supreme Court decision blocking RU-486 from being distributed through the mail, which I mean, to me, that's so horrific without a doctor's involvement. So we had that Supreme Court decision saying, okay, you can't mail RU-486. But what's the trend you're finding for all last year among abortion clinics? Are surgical abortions decreasing and chemicals increasing? What was the trend you saw in your study?
Right. So for the past actually 5 years, the number of abortion clinics that only offer abortion drugs has increased every year.
Wow.
But for the past, I believe, 11 years, surgical clinics have been decreasing every single year. So what we're seeing is a trend down on surgical abortions and a trend up on the abortion pill. And we also added another question to our survey this year, and that was about distributing abortion pills through telemedicine. So like a woman calls up, she has a little Skype interview, whatever, and then she walks in, they give her the drugs while she's at the clinic. You know, the doctor's not in the facility, the doctor's somewhere else, and they kind of call in their examination, their appointment over the internet, right? But another thing that they've been going to, especially since the COVID-19 situation, is some of the Planned Parenthoods and other facilities actually have been interviewing people over the internet and then mailing the pills, of course. And that whole thing is shut down. But we found 69 facilities that had telemedicine programs where they could distribute the abortion pills without a licensed physician being present at the facility.
Right. Well, I tell you, Cheryl, your report is amazing. And I want to encourage our people, just go to operationrescue.org, right, Cheryl? And there's a 2-part report up there now, right? It's very comprehensive, correct?
Yes.
And what Cheryl wants you to do is, brothers and sisters, go to operationrescue.org, look at this report, read this report, but then share it. We want you to share it far and wide, especially if you have people that you know who somehow think, oh, come on, abortion's so safe. It's no big deal. The women have an abortion, go back to school and work tomorrow. This report will give you a lot of facts. And if you thought, like Cheryl said, that 911 call we played for you was just a fluke, they have hundreds of those you can listen to up on their website, and real damage done to women in these abortion clinics all over our nation. And then finally, Cheryl, all 3 of your beautiful books, I mean, I've read them all. They're great. What I want to know is, can they order them from your website?
No, they can go to Amazon. They're available on
Amazon. Okay, I'm just going to rattle them off 1, 2, 3 right now. Cheryl's books are The Blood Cries Out, Abortion Free, and The Trial of Kermit Gosnell. Believe me, if you were asleep at the switch and you missed The Trial of Kermit Gosnell, Cheryl was in that courtroom every single day. I have to say, God bless your courage and fortitude, Cheryl. So if you really want to see what really happened, that Kermit Gosnell book, I highly recommend. And also, I love Abortion Free because I think that gives people real hope to how we can rid our nation of abortion. So, Cheryl, I want to thank you for joining us today. My hat's off to you for being part of all the research you do. And now we're going to use it as a tool in our toolbox and raise more awareness that abortion, always bad for the baby, always bad for the woman too. So thank you for joining me, Cheryl.
Well, thank you so much.
Okay. Well, brothers and sisters, I want you to join us in the battle right now. And I want to give you another tool. It's part of our January offerings on our online store called prolifeproducts.org. It's called Abolishing Abortion, How You Can Play a Part in Ending the Greatest Evil of Our Day. Written by, of course, our national director, Father Frank Pavone. This is a pro-life manifesto. And if you want to know the tools that you can use this year, where we can really help people like Cheryl and all the other pro-life groups to really push the ball down the court, I'm not discouraged, by the way, by these elections. Our work remains the same. We have to stop abortion, we have to save babies, and we have to protect women. So if you want to be on our team to get really involved, I'd like you to go to our store, prolifeproducts.org, order Abolishing Abortion. Father Frank will autograph it. And if you'd like it personally autographed, just put a note up there on the store, and he'll even personally autograph it for you. And then we want to hear back from you. Let's join our team. Let's get involved. Contact us at Priest for Life. Besides going to our online store, you can view more programs here on endabortion.tv. Father Pavone says the Mass every day at 10 a.m. And of course, my program, Just Ask Janet, every day at 3:30. And my program also repeats 11 p.m. at night. These are all Eastern times. And 6 a.m. Tomorrow morning. This program will repeat. Tell people to tune in and take this message and spread it far and wide. So for Priest for Life, this is Janet Morana, the Executive Director of Priest for Life. Thank you for joining our program today. Until next time, tune in again to Just Ask Janet.